Alright, drafters, we are about a week into the format now, just over, I think. It's a little bit later than usual because I did get married at the weekend, but going to have a look at the data from 17 lines and see kind of where we're at and see what cards are overpicked and underpicked. So the two measures that I use are the ALSA, the average last seen at, which tells you how and when a card is seen in the draft. So you got here, Karna's seen, you tend not to see it get past it, it'll go by pick 2 most of the time, whereas you'll have something a bit weaker like Artillery Blast here, which is just a white common. It's a bit of a pants one, but that's seen kind of pick 6 or roughly 5.8, and that's kind of where you see these things. I've also got the game in hand win rate, which tells you when the cards when you have the card in hand in a game. It's how often you win with it. So it's not how often you win when you cast it, it's how often you win when you have it in hand. It's not a perfect measure to say how good a card is, but it's probably the best and easiest measure that we can use. And if you're on 17 lands, you can just do a quick check here. You can order by the game in hand win rate. We can see here Shieldred has the best game in hand win rate. Archangel Wrath's next. Sphinx is Clear Skies. Then we've got Wingmantle Chaplain, which is the uncommon of note right at the moment. It's the mythic uncommon, which is the one which cares about the defenders and things like that. And this tells us some information. We know which cards are good, we know which cards aren't good. We can see here quite quickly that Wingmantle Chaplain's picked around pick 4, which implies that it's maybe being underpicked a little bit considering how good it is. But to be honest, unless it's in pack 1, you probably don't want to be moving in on this deck just because of that card. If you pick it up pack 3, then you're probably going to pass it around a little bit, so that's something to do with that. But what I've done is I've moved the data across to Excel. I will put this on Google Drive and put a link to it in the description below. And I've done a bit of color coordinating, so you can see here we've got the game in hand win rate of a number of cards here. You've got these are the commons and uncommons. I'll come back to that in a moment. But here we are with the full set. So you've got the game in hand win rate, and then we've got the ALSA, the average last seen at, and you can see here because I've got the colours sorted, it's highlighting the Wingmantle Chaplain quite high here. We've also got another one that stands out, which is the Shield Wall Sentinel. But what we see is right at the top here, the best cards for ALSA, for the game in hand win rate, are all mythics and rares for the most part, with a few commons and uncommons. And if we go down to the bottom, then we have there's still some rares and mythics down here, but these are kind of, there's quite a few, it's been noticed quite a few bad rares and mythics. So the rares and mythics are really making it difficult to see what is good and what isn't good here. So what I've done is I've stripped the rares and mythics out, and I've just went for the commons and uncommons. Starting with see here, Wingmantle Chaplain is seen to be it's the best game in hand win rate that we've got going on here. But, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shrink down some of these columns so we can see the data on the right, and my ugly mug is over. There we go. So all this information will still be in there. What I've done here is I've done a difference between the rank of the game in hand win rate and the average last seen at, and this will tell us whether a card is under or overpicked compared to the data at the minute. Now this isn't foolproof either. We have a bit of information on, it's a very much a synergistic format, so it's going to really matter which cards you're going to pick alongside. For example, you got Shield Wall Sentinel here. Now it's got a game in hand win rate of 62% because it can fetch out your other defenders, the key ones that you need. So when you play it, it is quite good. It's actually the 4th best common or uncommon in the set apparently, which is really, really good. However, it's only good in that one deck. So I think it's probably getting underpicked a little bit. It's still saying that the defender deck is going to be quite good, and I think it's a big part of that. But I think this is always going to be kind of a big number here because it's only going to go in that one deck. I've got some other things. Gear's Might here. This is Pump Spell, which cares about Domain, and this has got, there's quite a big difference in the game in hand win rate here, and you can already see the drop here between the two. Minus 161, which is the difference between the rankings. This is minus 109, but I would say these first few here are still going to be some important ones. So Gaia's Might, Impulse was the one I was interested to see. Part of us kind of thinks it's a little bit like Opt, but obviously it's a little bit better. I think maybe the blue-red decks are doing particularly well, so that could be something to do with it. But I think seeing Impulse as the 3rd most underpicked common is going to be is quite interesting. Phyrexian Espionage is one I wasn't really expecting to see either. There's a lot of like kind of rule filly spells here, so you got Thrill of Possibilities. Well, a lot of these quite dirty spells, to be honest, where we're just trying to go through the deck, and then also we've got Clockwork Drawbridge and Walking Bulwark, which are also part of that defender deck as well. Take Up the Shield is still, I thought it seemed quite hot. It's a good card, and I think people are picking up quite high. And yeah, it is quite a way down from this 109 to this 85 here, but it's 60% game in hand win rate. It's the 17th best common and uncommon overall, and it's been picked relatively low. You can probably get it 5th or 6th pick quite a lot of the time. Again, it might just be that it's only good in, well, it's probably good in any white deck, to be honest. There's some cards which are only good in particular decks of that colour, other cards which are good in anything, and to be honest, Take Up the Shield's quite good at everything. And then underneath, we've got its blue cousin here in Shore Up, which is gives +1/+1 hexproof and untap it. Now, I'm going to have a look down at the other end. So these are the overpicked cards. So we'll start with Zar Ojanen. One of the legendaries, it's getting picked highly. Maybe it's not that great. 53.7. I did notice that the average seems to be about 56, 57 at the minute. I think 17 lands players are winning on average more than they do on most sets. Maybe it's because it's the complexity of the set. Linebreaker Bailoff, which is, I think that's the green enlist creature. Is that the 4/5 enlist? Which, it's not saying it's a bad card. 54.3, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's just maybe getting picked a little bit too highly. And then we've got a few other things here. We've got quite a few of these legends. So you got Shalai's Acolyte, which is the white-green. You got Queen Alanol, which is white-green as well. Again, okay cards, but maybe it's not a great, you think. The Shalai's Acolyte is one that I think in particular does look quite good, and I'm surprised to see it this far down, but maybe people are picking it really, really high. Gin of the Fountain, which I think has been talked about. It's just a big blue thing which doesn't do a huge amount, and you know, it looks good. It looks like it's got some good effects. You've got a choice of effects on there, but you want your 6 mana spells to do a little bit more. Coalition Sky Knight is one here which I'm surprised to see. Maybe it's just getting picked really highly. No, not particularly highly. 4.6, 4.7. It's not getting picked particularly highly, but you know, you've got a lot of interesting things going on here. A lot more of these legends as well, which it might be that getting picked because as a splash too often. I know I've probably fallen victim of that as well, or it might just be because often what you'll see is the data will show that the gold cards are underpicked. So it'll show the gold cards are underpicked because they'll tend to wheel a bit longer because the gold card, it'll go round a little bit because, especially you get pack 2, pack 3. If you're in black red and you see a white green card, you're probably not going to pick that. And even if you're in one of the colours, you might not pick it as well. So they'll often go around a little bit more, and the average last seen that'll be a bit lower. Here, it looks like that isn't really in effect, and people might be picking them a little bit highly because there's a lot of these gold cards in the overpick category. Anyway, that's about it. I do have a couple of I'll make these a little bit bigger here. Do have a couple of these codes. I think there's a pack or so each. Feel free to use them. If you do use them, give us a comment below. Let us know what you think of this. I will put the spreadsheet in on Google Sheets, and I'll put a link to it down below for you guys to have a little bit of analysis yourselves. Let us know what you think. It's looking quite interesting. I'm still getting used to the format. I feel like I'm playing a lot of catch up at the moment. I've only got 4 or 5 drafts under my belt right now, but I'm about to jump into the seal event, so I'm going to enjoy that. Anyway, catch you around. Thanks for watching. Bye.